This first story that I am serving up to you today comes from dry_drawing_9450. It is a Reddit tale. The headline is, I think people were living in the crawl space.
Those aren't words you ever want to hear.
Yeah, ideally not. Ideally not. So here's the scoop. The original poster, or OP, is a single female in her late 20s. She lives in a duplex with her neighbor, who is also a single female in her late 20s. OP works from home. Her neighbor does not. And she says, a little over a week ago, we noticed a man paying close attention to my neighbor's side of the duplex. He drove up in his fancy red sports car, drove into our driveway, parked, and was looking in the windows and checking the door.
Not good.
I thought maybe this was normal. It's not normal.
It's not normal.
Maybe he was checking to see if the apartment was available for rent, since our property management already put a for lease sign up in the yard, even though we won't be moved out until midsummer. We have cameras up and just kind of kept an eye out. A little over a week passes. My neighbor sees a man walk to the side of the house. She investigates and finds the man changing his clothes.
Also never good.
She immediately tells him to leave. I am not there, but I'm on the phone with her during this interaction. He starts to leave, and she looks into her crawl space because she noticed the door was open. She sees a suitcase and a comforter set in there.
Oh, no.
Then she looks to where the man has walked off to and sees him coming back with his friend, the man who originally scoped out the place 8 days earlier. She has a friend with her, thankfully. Together, they give the pair their things back from the crawl space, and they see them walk back down the street. My neighbor was kind enough to look into my crawl space, and she didn't see anything there. We have a no trespassing sign to put up. So horrifying. Really, really scary stuff. This all took place in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yep.
Initial thoughts and perspectives from you, Jonathan.
Well, the no trespassing sign isn't going to keep anyone out if they want to live in the crawl space. My next thought is, what kind of door is... There's an exterior door to their crawl space. Apparently. Sounds kind of sketchy.
Bad design choice.
I would do something to lock that up. Yeah. And then my next thought is, this is what you call phrogging.
Ribbit.
Which you wrote... Which you wrote a blog about.
I did.
Okay, tell the people what phrogging is.
Ooh, it is spooky. So phrogging refers to somebody moving into an occupied house without the knowledge of the people who are actually occupying the house. So in a rental situation, it is when someone is coming in, just like in this situation, there is a tenant, and then there is a sneaky frogger who is trying to make a home without the tenant realizing that they're there. It does get easier if you have places like crawl spaces that are accessible from the outside. There have also been froggers living in people's walls, in their attics. I mean, if a human can fit in there, there's probably been someone who's tried to squeeze in.
Sure.
So it is super illegal. And it is trespassing. So I understand the urge to put up a sign, but unfortunately, like you said, I just don't think a sign is going to stop them.
There's no way they were living in that crawl space and thinking, well, nobody told me I couldn't, so I might as well do it.
No posted signs. This is safe for me.
Yeah, that's not why the man was looking in the window. He wasn't just making sure there was no trespassing sign before he trespassed.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. They don't care what the law is. This one's weird where there's two people, I guess.
Two people. You've got the scout, and then you have the person changing clothes. So
interesting.
That makes it honestly more dangerous, because when there's, I mean, even just one person you don't know about who's sneaking into your rental without your tenant knowing, that's bad enough. When you have multiple people, you have to start asking additional questions. Like, what are their motives? Are they here to commit crimes? Are they here to set up a drug lab, which has happened in the past? Yeah. There's a phrogging case on the East Coast where someone's very similarly going around. They saw a weird board leaning against their wall. They moved the board, and there was an eyeball looking at them because they were the lookout for a meth lab. Not good. Very not good.
That's not good.
It is not ideal.
Oh, boy. Okay, so the poster here, dry drawing, 9450. Mm-hmm. It sounds like they're about to move out, so good for them. They're getting away from whatever was happening here. What should the landlord do?
Well, first, I would say I really hope that Dry Drawing told their landlord. That would be the very first step, because a landlord can't fix something you don't tell them about.
Yep.
So I hope that they told their landlord. As the landlord, once I got that kind of notification, first thing I'm doing, I'm installing a lock. I am locking up that crawl space. Maybe I'll even post a second sign that says no frogging.
Whoa!
Listen,
No
signs
frogging.
can work, but they really only work if you have mechanisms like locks to back them up. So add a lock. I would also say maybe invest in some security cameras.
Yeah.
We have an entire episode of Be a Better Landlord, our other show, all about security cameras. So please check it out if you have questions. But that could help at least make the next tenant feel safer and you feel safer as a landlord regarding your investment property.
Yes.
Again, you don't know what this person is trying to do in there.
Yep.
Maybe they just want to hang out and change clothes. Maybe they want to burn it to the ground. We don't know.
How many places do you just hang out and change clothes?
My house.
You don't have to answer that.
Okay.
Okay, so as Krista mentioned, we do have a whole other episode about security cameras. We'll break it down real simple for you right here, which is if you put in security cameras, make sure you're telling your tenant, only do it on the exterior. And maybe if they ask, be ready to share the access to that camera with them. Mm-hmm. In this situation, if dry drawing wasn't about to move out, and they were saying, hey, I'm super freaked out, and so is my roommate. Valid.
Yeah.
And I think I would say, I'm going to put in a security camera pointing over there to where the crawl space is. I've put a lock. I've put up an extra serious no frogging sign. And now I'm going to put a camera. And you can have access to the camera. I will also have access to the camera. Let's make sure no creepy people are coming around changing clothes or worse, whatever they're doing in there. Just make sure nobody's in there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I would say, too, if I was the tenant, you might want to tell your neighbors. Just let them know that there are a couple hooligans running around, breaking into crawl spaces, changing clothes, keeping comforter sets. Like, give people heads up so that they know to look out as well.
Absolutely.